Hey guys, Honest123 here, coming at you with a brand new Let's Play of a lesser known game. I think maybe a lot of people have heard of this game, maybe they necessarily didn't play it, or it's one of those games where you either had it as a kid and you played it and you loved it and it's the best thing ever, or you didn't, and so you might not particularly get it, you know. So we're going to actually watch this beginning bit because it kind of shows off a lot of the gameplay. It's kind of cool. This is one of those games, a hidden gem, I would call it. Sure, why not? There was a lot of great games on the N64, but unfortunately, like quite a lot of Nintendo consoles, the big hitters, you know, Super Mario 64, GoldenEye, Zelda, really did overshadow the really good games that came out on it. There was a lot of games that do just get forgotten just because of all the big Nintendo and Rare games that came out, and this is one of them, Snowboard Kids. A very simple game. For this Let's Play we're just going to be playing through all the levels and coming first and yeah, just completing the game. So first off we have the character select screen, and something that's very interesting that's different to Mario Kart is that every character does have its own specs, you know, its own stats, and actually picking a different character will make a difference. I will be talking about Mario Kart quite a lot in this Let's Play because around this time is when they really were releasing quite a lot of Mario Kart, what people would say clones, which I think is a bit unfair because I think Mario Kart really did make its own genre. You know, it did come out and it was completely new and it was crazy and it was awesome, but I think around this time is when Mario Kart, or probably the Kid Racer, I'm not too really sure exactly what you would call it, but the item friendly racer, I don't really know. This is, yeah, really did become its own genre, and this is one of the cases of like it really pulling off. I mean, there was Mario Kart 64, Diddy Kong Racing, Mickey Speedway USA, there was this, you know, it was its own genre. So the first thing you're going to notice that's different from most games, it's snowboarding. There was obviously 1080 snowboarding, but that was a very serious game. I think that was actually like a Miyamoto game, which is the craziest thing. But this whole game is kind of based around momentum and actually using a snowboard rather than having a little car and driving a car. So there's definitely a lot of differences here. You know, you're not just going to be able to, you can't brake, for example. And what this first course really does is show you all the mechanics of the game just to get you used to it, because when you first play it you're going to be like, oh god, I just can't control it, I go right and it's not going right. So yeah, and then there's quite a lot of things that's different here. First off, you're probably going to notice is the item system. I really like this item system. I think it's pretty much perfect. You know, Mario Kart 64 and all the Mario Kart games have kind of spent ages now, or probably since Double Dash onwards, trying to perfect their item system to have it so everyone can win or everyone can do well, but it still kind of helps skills players. And obviously in the last few years it's kind of gone the other way, and it's just, so it's now just random and just luck with some of the items, and player 1 is going to get screwed over by a blue shell. But with this game, with only 4 people, you do get different items in what position you are, but you know, it's very well balanced for what it is, you know. Like sure, just then we got hit by the pans. Everyone calls them pans, but I always saw them as coins. They're big golden coins, you know. They were golden, so I thought they were coins. So yeah, you may get hit by all those pans. I'm going to call them coins from now on, okay? Those giant coins, but you're now in 4th, so you're going to get the decent items so you can catch up, and as you can see I'm already back in 3rd from going from 4th, so it's really well balanced. I think they really did a good job. Although later on in the game I'm going to talk about how frustrating it can be. Another big difference here, that something that Mario Kart kind of stole, they sort of stole it, that there's jumps across every course, and whenever you come to a jump you have to hold, you have to get used to this as well, or see an LP like this to know how it works. You have to crouch, and then if you take the control stick and put it in a direction, you do a certain trick. So if you press it up, you do like a flip. If you press it to the side, you do like a side flip. If you press it diagonally, you do like a diagonal flip. And you do that to get coins, because again with the item system, another thing I really like about it is that you have to get coins, and you can either just pick them up on the floor as you see fit, or you can just, you know, do tricks, and the better the trick is, the more coins you get. Another thing with the trick system is that you can also use the C stick to do grabs and stuff like that. So you can actually combine normal tricks with grabs, which I never actually do. I never do that in this Let's Play, I'm afraid. I completely forgot about it. Because I played this game when I was a kid. I loved this game. It was so much fun. It was really challenging and hard. And one thing I will mention, that this is one of the games that this kind of happened around the N64 era. You needed something called a controller pack to save your games. Now, I think a lot of people with the console would know what I'm talking about, but in case you didn't, it was a little memory pack thing that you put in the back of the controller, where you would usually have the rumble pack or something. It was something like that, and then that's how you saved your games. But a lot, like the good games, didn't have that. You could just save normally. And then this also meant that you would also have a rumble pack, and some of the rumble packs came with memory packs inside them, so it kind of sucks. Pretty much I didn't have one at all. I just didn't have one, which meant that whenever I played this game and turned it off, it would all wipe and I would have to do it all over again. Luckily for me, it's quite a short game, but still. So that was the first race, Rookie Mountain. Not hard. Again, just to get used to the mechanics. It's pretty short, really not that much to it. You know, you should be able to come in first easily. Yeah. So we're going to see here, this is the next one, Big Snowman, and we have three sorts of boards. We have all around, freestyle, and alpine. So that's pretty much those different three. Is you pick which one you want depending on how much speed and cornering you want. There's also a trick stat, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, there is a difference with your trick stat, but you're not going to notice it. It's all about speed and cornering. So with Jam has 1.5 speed and 2 cornering, 2.5. I can't exactly remember. So I'm using Alpine, which is the fastest of the boards, because on these beginning levels you don't actually need that much speed. It's pretty easy, you know, there's not that many corners. Maybe if you haven't played the game before, you might want to pick Slash, who is the guy out in front we can see here, who's the all-around character. But yeah, just to get you used to the game. But you don't want to say pick Tommy, who's this fat prick right in front of us, who's, yeah, he's a fat prick. I mean, he's the fastest, but his cornering is terrible, so if you're not used to the cornering system, you're going to want to be careful. So, and I haven't even talked about the different sorts of items. Another thing I really like, there's two sorts. There's blue and red. Red is like projectiles to take out your enemies and your enemies. It's a racing game. It's not enemies, it's just other kids that you're fighting. And not even fighting, it's a friendly game. And there's blue as well, that is more, I don't know, offensive, defensive, whatever. You know, you get ghosts, you get those coin things, you get rocks, you get fans, you get this weird mouse thing that we'll see later on. Feel like, and the invisible board. All very good items. But again, it depends what position you're on. So I'm in second, so I'll get ghost, rocks, and all that. So yeah, that was me doing a bit of showing off right there. This is probably my favourite course in the game. It's simple, there's not too many like tricky corners you have to worry about. Because later on in the game there are some really hard turns, and it's like, it can be really hard to do it. There's some cool jumps, so you can do cool special tricks. Do I do it? There we go, special trick. If you have a blue, well, if you're, I don't know what that is, what? Snowboard dust? Magical snowboard dust? If your magical snowboard dust is blue, you've actually done a magic trick. Great job. You did a magic trick. Or a special trick. And what that means is, instead of just say go up, you went up down. The one I did there was left right, and I think if you go left right, left right, left right, if you do it left right twice, you do another special trick that I will show off, I think, in this race. At some point anyway, I will definitely show it off. And each character has its own special moves, and Jam actually has 3 special moves that I found out, but I will only show off 2 of them in this Let's Play because I didn't find it out until I'd done it. Or it was off screen, so. So yeah, I really like this course. The main thing I like about it is the music. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it that clearly, but I'm going to try and make it so you do. But the music, this is probably my favourite track in the game, because one thing I love about this game is the music. It's got like, oh, it's just so good. You just have to play it and listen to the music. It suits the game perfectly. The one thing I would say, it probably gets a bit repetitive. Like, there's not that many games, or there's not that many tracks in the game. I mean, music tracks and actually racing courses. So yeah, that's kind of a shame, and they're not that varied, the music, but it's still great, you know. And here's one thing, the parachute, the best item in the game. because of this. As you can see, Slash has now... he's screwed. He's screwed. He's done for. Because you use the parachute and you float back to Earth. But if you do it on a jump, they get hit and then they have to float all the way down. That was the worst thing to ever happen to you when I was younger. It was the worst thing to ever happen. If the computer happened to have parachute, you're on the jump and they just happen to take you out. Or it's the best thing to do in multiplayer. As you're just like, haha, parachute, and you're just like having a great time. They're like going insane, just like, you dick! I'm still floating here, because you do float all the way down. It doesn't just burst and let you go. And that's like one of the biggest jumps in the whole game, so Slash should have been out for the whole race. I think we might actually see him again later on, so. And yeah, in case you're wondering, this is post-commentary just because later on in this Let's Play, the race is getting insanely hard, and I'll talk about that a bit more when we get to it, but I thought I want to show an actual good, decent run of me doing this, rather than, say, I did it live commentary, where all I would go is, God damn it. Like, you know, a lot of Let's Players like to do. So instead it's post-commentary, so I can just talk about whatever I want. Yeah, these first two races, you're not going to have any trouble here. I mean, this course is so big, like, the sides are so big, that it's insane. It's just insane. That it makes the corners super easy, you're not going to hit any sides, and you know, there's a decent amount of coins on the track, so you're not going to run out of that, and then the computer players just don't get the items, which I think I'll talk a bit more about later on. But yeah, we've actually come to the track. I haven't even mentioned the whole lap thing yet. I think I'll talk about it in the next part, but this was actually the longest track in the game, and because of that it's only 2 laps, so we've done 2 laps and we come first, and we're #1 guy ever. So yeah, this is going to be pretty short Let's Play, but I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this part. I have been Honest23, and hopefully I will see you in the next part of Let's Play Snowboard Kid. Okay, until then, see ya.